Hi, everybody. I'm Kim Anthony, and I'd like to introduce you to my new podcast. It's called Resilience to Brilliance. Resilience to Brilliance, or RTB, is a podcast series highlighting inspiring stories of life-altering encounters and the brilliance that can rise on the other side of adversity. What motivated me to start this podcast is my desire to give people an opportunity to share their stories of resilience and how they've been able to overcome significant challenges or thrive in spite of them. I want the listeners to walk away encouraged and inspired as they seek to overcome their own challenges in life. I define resilience as continuing to rise in the face of adversity while learning, growing, and reframing your mindset. I'm a firm believer that we all have the ability to be resilient. It's just that sometimes life experiences can make it difficult for some of us to do that. There may be lies we're believing or fears that are paralyzing us. But no matter what those obstacles are, I believe that we all can rise in the face of adversity again and again. But it's not something that we can do in isolation. Now, as an introvert, I have this tendency to try to go it alone, but I've learned over the years that I need to have a community, a safe community of individuals who can provide wisdom, experience, and other types of support I might need. So in a way, loosely, very loosely, I see this podcast as being a community for some, a place where you can come, imperfections and all, and listen to other imperfect people like myself and be encouraged by our stories of resilience and the brilliance that can come on the other side of our challenges. Now, I do have my own resilience to brilliance story of growing up surrounded by drugs, violence, and poverty, and going on to break racial and socioeconomic barriers to become a world-class gymnast, 4-time NCAA national champion, and Hall of Fame inductee. You'll hear bits and pieces of my story along the way, and maybe we'll dive into it fully at some point. But for now, the focus is on others whose stories will challenge you, show you a different perspective, and they may even surprise you. My hope is that you'll discover some key takeaways you can use in your own life. Resilience to Brilliance will be a seasonal podcast. The varied seasons may feature particular groups or teams of people or individuals who have something in common, or they may focus on some specific topic. And of course, there may be some random bonus episodes here and there. If a particular group is the focus of a season, you'll hear it be referred to as an edition. For example, if I'm interviewing this group of teddy bears, that season might be called the Teddy Bear edition of the Resilience to Brilliance podcast. Each season will include at least 8 episodes, and those episodes will be released on a weekly basis. Depending on the circumstances and the time of year, you may see us take a short break between seasons, but we'll be sure to let you know when this is about to happen. The shows will be an interview format and will include my personal takeaways at the end of each episode. Now let's talk about season 1. Remember I mentioned the editions? Well, our inaugural season will be an edition that is near and dear to my heart. After becoming a world-class gymnast, I finished my career as a Bruin at UCLA. So, as a graduate of UCLA, what better way to start off the Resilience to Brilliance podcast than to have season 1 be the Bruin Gymnastics Alumni Edition, launching in November of 2023. You'll be inspired by riveting firsthand accounts from UCLA's gymnastics legends. Oh, and for these episodes, you'll see that I'm adding my maiden name. But I assure you that Kim Anthony and Kim Hamilton Anthony are both one and the same. So please join me for season 1. Thanks for listening to this introductory edition of the Resilience to Brilliance podcast. Again, I'm your host, Kim Anthony. And if you'd like to learn more about the podcast, please visit us at inbrilliancemode.com/podcast.